The James Show.
Welcome to The James Show. This is NewsTalk 1230, the talk of Waco. I am your host, James Parker. In a bit of a hurry here. I'm behind on my agenda, and I got to get it rolling. So let's get right into it. Scott Gates, local civic watchdog, was on the job last night. You heard from Lisa Dickinson in her report from the Candidates Forum. Scott Gates was there as well, going to give us his perspective. Did you hear Lisa's review? And if so, is that generally what you saw?
Well, I heard most of it. I've got a little different perspective, I think, that she does. I think your choices are the showboat, maturity, or exuberance.
Woo!
Parnell did not say that his posse was present when El Chapo was arrested. He did regale attendees about how he flew Con Air. I'm not real sure what that has to do with being sheriff, but I'm not Nicolas Cage.
Wait, how does El Chapo even come into this?
Fantasy world, that the information that Parnell puts out and how disconnected it is from what the actual reality is. Let me explain. He explained about the arrest of James Brossett for capital murder. He explained how he went to Tarrant County to bring him back to Waco and how he got a confession on the way back. Brossett was in jail at the end of June. When he got out, he started harassing Laura Patchke again. The interesting part is when Brossett murdered Laura with a shotgun while her young daughter hid in the closet, the sheriff had a warrant.
Don't we have to say like allegedly and stuff here? How about everything we say for the rest of the hour is imagine an allegedly in front of it. Dude, you don't want to get sued. I don't want to get sued. People.
The sheriff had a warrant for his arrest, or whenever he allegedly murdered Laura. He's charged with capital murder now. And rather than serving the warrant and putting him in jail for harassment, it worked out really good for the sheriff campaign, because getting a confession from a person charged with capital murder is far better story than serving a harassment warrant. You're never going to see Willie Thompson driving an MRAP in a parade. Some stability comes with maturity. Willie Tompkins was asked if he sided with the Attorney General or the county judge over the recent issue of denying license holders access to the courthouse and government buildings. The issue really defines the difference in the candidates. Parnell doesn't even know the rights of citizens were violated. Willie just deals with the law the legislature gives him, and Patrick gets way too drove up and is waiting for the courts to decide.
Hey, define drove up.
Well, I mean, he was on the news talking about how the law was vague and that they need the courts to decide. You know, it's really simple. What law-abiding citizens do is no concern to the police. They don't have to worry about them. And that was kind of what Tompkins' take was on the whole deal. The sheriff has a really impressive record of 450% increase in arrests, is what he says, and that reminded me of the guy who was arrested for DWI. He went down to get a court-appointed attorney. Still had some vehicles that were registered in his name that he didn't own or something. Anyways, the sheriff made this big production out of going and arresting this guy for defrauding the indigent defense, and in the end, the guy beat the rap. The charges were dropped. So, yeah, the sheriff has lots of arrests, but how many convictions remains to be seen. That was one of the things that Patrick Swanton brought up, and I think he's probably got something that's going to get some traction there. Pander to the media and arrest people just like the 3 jailers that he arrested for over at the Jack Harwell facility. He had 3 of them arrested, but then it turns out that there's records that one of his own supervisors falsified the same records, got a week off without pay.
Uh-oh, you don't like that, do you?
Well, no, because those guys make like $10 an hour over there. And if you're going to put them in, the only reason he put them in jail is because the jail commission wrote the jail up.
Yeah, because someone had to take the fall. I got you.
You know, one of the things that I talked to Patrick Swanton about is, because it turns out that Patrick Swanton does have some college. And I told him that, you know, one of my concerns is that we need a professional pay structure in the sheriff's department that rewards them based on their level of licensure or their college education.
Why don't you run? Why don't you run? You would get all kinds of shine. You would get all kinds of promotion from me. Why don't you run, Scott? You got a law enforcement background? No.
Oh, no. I like my wife. I'm growing on her. She told me I'd have to find another place to live if I put my name on another ballot. I ran in 2008.
Yeah, you said I'm growing on her. I think you already won that battle if y'all are married. But hey, great summary. Keep an eye out for me and let me know if something else comes up the rest of us need to know about. All right, Scott?
All right, guys. Thanks a lot.
There he is, Scott Gates, local civic watchdog.